All right, Shalom, Makim. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Baruch Kodesh. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. I'd like to say Shalom to the elect. This teaches word in our true faith and sincerity. And today I just want to get into pretty much Esau and his desires, which is to bring forth this new world order. And that entails pretty much the base of that is pretty much everybody being chipped first and foremost. And that will ultimately give this man control. Because that's what he's trying to do. Is this nigga is really trying to recenter himself. He's feeling the power slip away. These other nations, they don't fear him as they once did. Some got nukes. But with this digital system, he's trying to bring forth. This nigga is really trying to, get a grip once again on the planet Earth. So I got this word, dystopian, because that's what he's trying to do, bring forth a dystopian society, and you see it with these movies. They call it dystopian movies. For an example, the Hunger Games. So you got a Minority Report. Hell, fucking even these futuristic movies. What was one of them? In Time. It always goes to pretty much centered around that technology and everybody being on this, having that chip ultimately. So this that word dystopia, just a AI overview, and it reads: a dystopia is an imagined society characterized by oppressive societal control, systematic injustice, and widespread human misery. And we're seeing that, of course, in this man's system. That's how he gets off on oppression. Talk about he speak loftily concerning oppression. Then the systematic injustice. Scripture speak how this man is corrupt, and it said widespread human misery because ultimately you got the base man in power. So this is the results. Everybody's miserable. It's funked up. We're at the point now where you can't say certain things, certain talking points. You can potentially get locked up now for saying shit. And with June, on top of Pride Month, you know what I mean? You can get locked up for saying the wrong thing around, the right person. It says derived from Greek roots meaning bad place. It acts as the dark counterpart to a utopia, which that's the kingdom of heaven. It said often serving as a cautionary tale about technology, totalitarianism, and environmental collapse. And that's what is ultimately that's what it's leading to. Because that technology, you got that digital ID, as they said, that's the core for the new system they about to bring forth. Having that digital ID, this technology. And that was going to lead to the totalitarianism because without that chip, you ain't going to be able to come and go within this system. And it said the environmental collapse. Hey, we already see that with these data centers. How it's draining all their water. the plant life is dying that's around these centers. Even even mankind are feeling the effects. You close to a data center and you wonder why you always woozy and shit. It's because of that, because of E, man. You know? So I got an article real quick, just going into no, it's actually in yep. This is from Newsbreak. And it reads, China beats Elon Musk to launch world's first brain chip. So this is what we in this process. And speaking of China, because there's like a baby America, it talks about matter of fact, let's just get it real quick. I think this is 15. It's like a baby America. These gooks pattern themselves after Babylon the Great. Yep, this is 2 15 verse 46. It reads, and thou, Asia, that art partaker of the hope of Babylon, and art the glory of her person. Woe be unto thee, thou wretch, because thou hast made thyself like unto her. See? And that's what they, pretty much, you have China, is, these gooks, they really pattern themselves after Babylon the Great, and that's why the things that's happening over there in China, they're gonna ultimately bring over here, such as the citizen credit system. That you got so much points. If you ain't got enough points, you ain't gonna be able to take the fucking bus. But you see China, these ghouls, they have taken on the customs of America and Babylon the Great. So they talking about they beat Elon Musk. Them niggas really on one accord concerning this digital system. Yeah, they might have differences in other places, but concerning bringing forth this digital system, they all on one accord. It says because thou hast made thyself like unto her, and hast decked thy daughters in whoredom, that they might please and glory in thy lovers, which has always desired to commit whoredom with thee. Yeah, so and you'll see that these groups they really hold fast to Esau. From you'll have women and go after them, and you'll have even the men fucking. He want to be a fucking Edomite. And especially when you look at these Americanized groups. We're just going back to the point to show you they all on one accord. So we seeing China, they got their brain chip. It said high stakes global race that many assume tech billionaire Elon Musk will easily win. Beijing quietly claimed the crown. China's National Medical Products Administration have officially greenlit Neo, the world's first invasive brain computer interface approved for commercial sale. The milestone marks a major turning point. While Elon Musk's high-profile startup Neuralink continues to navigate regulatory testing, China's state-backed health system is already gearing up for mass production. So they already getting the ball rolling on with these brain chips. Matter of fact, I read this right here. It says, for years, Neuralink has dominated headlines by promising a future where humans can control digital devices with a single thought. However, despite beginning human trials, Musk's signature M1 prototype has yet to clear the regulatory hurdles required for public sales. The company began human trials in 2024 and is currently testing M1 implants in 9 patients while awaiting broader approval. I mean, that's pretty much it, man. It's just show you where we at in this process. The technology is out there, you know, and ultimately, as how they present it as, upgrade to man. They're gonna promote it as convenience. From being efficient to it's going to prevent fraud. To now you can see, now you can walk again. You ain't gotta worry about leaving your wallet. Just these certain things. How they trying to present it, but ultimately is an effort to bring forth captivity, man. That's what that chip is ultimately a sign of. Matter of fact, let's get that in the book of Exodus 21, the law of the all. Despite what this man is trying to present, this as this fourth industrial revolution, this man's he going into fifth gear now. More of an advanced society, going into the internet of bodies now. That's just a fancy way of saying you in fucking captivity, man. Cause now you get that chip, you can't say faggot no more. Ain't no telling how many points get taken off for saying that. Or your chip might get turned off. Right, you thinking about it. As we're going into that brain to show you these devils trying to monitor your thoughts. He put something into your shit, This Exodus 21 started at 1 and said, now these are the judgments which thou shalt set before them. If thou buy an Hebrew servant, 6 years he shall serve, and in the 7th he shall go out free for nothing. So this is what we had. We really in the conclusion, of our captivity. And it said we were gonna go out. It said free for nothing, because and it show you too. We ain't gonna take. Just like in the in time of Egypt, they came with great substance they had. We ain't taking nothing. We ain't gonna even take our bodies, man, when the Lord return. Once we really go free, ain't taking none of this shit with us, man. It says, if he came in by himself, he shall go out by himself. If he were married, and his wife shall go out with him. If his master have given him a wife, and she have borne him sons or daughters, the wife and her children shall be her masters, and he shall go out by himself. And if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I would not go out free. And that's what's going to contribute to a lot of people taking that chip, because of things that this devil have presented. Yeah, you can say your wife and your children, but that's even your job, your house, your car, the things that's here in this society, your so-called life. For that shit to keep going, you gonna have to take that chip. Or you can't have access to it. And that's going back, that's gonna be that captivity, because now you got that chip, you on eggshells. Because going back to China, them niggas already in the future in a sense. Everything digital, you have these damn stores, and it's really ran by AI. You go into these certain convenience stores, and you just go and you grab your shit and walk out. And they'll just send you a bill because of the facial recognition and motherfucking scan what all you picked up, and So, but that's gonna come here to America, Babylon the Great. In that, going back to China, them niggas had them points. And I seen an article where there's a case of rising homelessness because they was pretty much being X'd out from the system, because they didn't follow the standard. Just like in school, you can get so many write-ups to you, they just gonna have to suspend you. So whether they said something that the government didn't agree with, or whatever the case may be, I got to the point they couldn't take the cab, you couldn't get on a bus, can't apply for a job, whatever the case may be, because of that standard that was set forth. So how much more when that chip come? You gotta have that before you even think about doing anything in this system. So that's why this is gonna contribute to people taking it, because the thing that's presented, your daily routine, all that shit be broken up, and for you to get that back together, you gonna have to take that off. It says, then his master shall bring him to the judges. He shall also bring him to the door, or unto the doorpost. His master shall bore his ear through with an awl, and he shall serve him forever. See? And he know about that. And as you can see, it's and serve him. So that's what it's gonna lead to. This nigga wants you to be perpetual subjects. It says serve him forever, so that means you gotta die and come back, and you gonna come back and get the chip when you first born. Going back to these dystopian movies, you watch this shit, and it's a little baby. You seeing a baby in the hospital, but they gotta get that thing first. And it was a movie, it's an old movie from the 70s, THX, 1138, something like that. And that title of the movie was really, that was his chip number. And in that movie, the people was heavily monitored. You couldn't even pop no women. You gotta pop a robot. See, all that is coming. That's all now becoming reality. But what's the result? Is ultimately a bad place. It just lead to you being miserable and fucked up. It said the environment fucked up, and that's what you see. It's all doom and gloom. You don't see no trees. You just see fucking power lines and buildings. That's this nigga's desire, man. That's his utopia. Is really a dystopian society, man. That's why he had to be violently removed out the seat. Because Scripture said there will no flesh be saved. This is the book of Isaiah 36. Isaiah 36 and 6. It reads, "Lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt." And this system is broken. And that's why this devil had these terms. Make America great again. Build back better. So them niggas are acknowledging they fell off. They lost the step. And the same brother niggas said they finna come back hard. But this place is fucked up. It's just, this place is on his wit's hand. But you got Jake Ashley trying to invest. Just because a nigga finally got the recipe right and got his food truck out the ground, that don't mean America got some more time left on the clock, man. Because you finally got the stride going. No. It says, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So you trust in Esau, you think that this is the way, you just gonna take the chip and go to work the next day? Cause that's what it's gonna. You lean. You gotta take that chip. To trust in to for you to. That's gonna cement your allegiance with him. That's why it says, so is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to all that trust in him. So you're gonna have to get bored through to really show your allegiance with this man. But the scripture talk about how your covenant with death is gonna be disannulled. So despite you going to this nigga for relief, that shit ain't gonna even hold up. Cause it said you gonna try to stretch yourself on a bed that's short and try to cover yourself on with a small cover, man. Meaning you ain't gonna be defended because you trusting the wrong guy. And it's gonna be made manifest by those who take the chip. So matter of fact, I'm ending off from this in the book of, I think that's Nahum 1. Right, in verse 9 it reads, what do ye imagine against the Lord? He will make an utter end. And what does man imagine against the Lord to implement this new world order? He thinks somehow, some way he gonna, go around the words of Yahweh by Shema Shai. This is a decree from the Lord. The Lord decreed that this place is to be overthrown. Esau, in his mind, he think he got plans to keep it going. And this is his phase of doing it. For this to keep going, he gonna have to try to tear this down and build something else. Nigga trying to add an extra room to the house, so to speak. By the way, this fourth industrial revolution. You got, like I said, these terms, Internet of Things, the Internet of Bodies. Fancy words of captivity. It says, affliction shall not rise up a second time. See? Because that's ultimately what it leads to. Even now, these people think they're free, but it's not. But it's going to be really known is when that chip comes. With what the scripture says, the affliction shall not rise a second time. So the Lord is not going to allow this man to win. It talks about when he was about to fulfill his belly, that's when the Lord's going to rain upon him. But as you can see, we're in a time where that chip, which is the mark of the beast, the MOTB, is being made manifest. It's becoming clearer and clearer. This is that prophecy. So yeah, I just hope this will edify and let it give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachai, Kudash. Let it give double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone. Shalom to the elect that teach his word in our true faith and sincerity. Shalom.